Morning everybody, Straydog Billy here doing song number 854. In 854 days in a row, we started doing one song every day on August 7th of 2020. And here we are 854 days later doing another one. We're gonna keep on doing one song at least every day until homeless dogs and cats are no longer killed, euthanized in the shelters across our nation because they are homeless. They haven't found a home yet. When the shelters fill up, they have to start euthanizing the ones who have been there the longest, the poor animals who haven't been adopted. Terrible tragedy. It's got to stop. Conception control, spay and neuter is the answer. Straydog. That's why I got my nickname Straydog Billy, short for Straydog Bill Arnold, co-founder of that shelter. We'll talk more about Straydog in a minute after today's song. This one's called Straydog Angel. And here we go, 3, 4. Angel, my sweet angel, why'd you have to go? It's so hard losing you. Maybe someday Angel, my sweet angel, why'd you have to go? It's so hard losing you. Maybe someday Angel, she was a wonderful dog, one of Pat's first rescues back in before we started the shelter, 92 or 93. She was a wonderful dog. She lived with us her whole life at Straydog. Straydog, no-kill dog shelter. My first wife, the late Pat Arnold, whom I just mentioned, she and I started that shelter, well, first of all, Pat suddenly suffered a brain aneurysm while she was out tending to the dogs one day back in 2003, over 19 years ago, and she very tragically, very sadly passed on the next day. Terrible tragedy, terrible loss for Straydog. She and I had started that shelter back 9 years earlier in 1994. Pat was really the founder. I was working in Dallas still, making enough money to at least keep the shelter, feed all the dogs we had when we first started. We had 11 dogs when we first moved to our site where we are now at Straydog. And she and I started this shelter, and we became a Texas nonprofit corporation then in 1997 with the official name Straydog Incorporated, and that led to applying for and receiving from the IRS 501c3 tax exempt status. Most important step we ever took This is from the IRS in 1998, making all donations, all contributions to the shelter tax deductible to the fullest extent of the law. We still, in 2022, have our 501c3, still rescuing, rehabilitating, and adopting out formerly stray and other formerly homeless dogs and once in a while cats. And we're going to keep on doing this till there is no more overpopulation problem in the dog and cat world. We're now being led by my second wife, Juana Vasquez Arnold, who had worked for Pat in the earlier years. She had to leave on some family business in 2001. Pat had always said she was the best employee she ever had. She could take care of the first employee who could figure out how to, we had this big chart with all the pills on it for all the dogs. And every day you have to give this correct pills in the right bowl of dog food for that dog. And Juana figured that out real quick. And so Pat always said she was the best employee she ever had. Now, and she became the shelter director then. We called her up after Pat passed on, and she came back to the shelter. She was available then, came back, and she's been the shelter director ever since, still is the shelter director today in 2022. All 3,500 animal shelters across this country are adopting out a tremendous number of dogs and cats every single year. 3.2 million per year is the average right now. That is what we are. That's a daily average of 8,800 dogs and cats every single day are being adopted. Today, tomorrow, the next day, yesterday, the day before, 8,800 per day on the average. Tremendous accomplishment. All shelters, including Straydog, deserve our financial support. You can go online at straydog.org or give to any shelter. Please help. Now, there's a very sad side, very tragic side to the overpopulation problem, and that is that we as a society allow the use of euthanasia to get rid of the extras. When the shelters fill up, they have to start euthanizing the ones who have been there the longest. And we understand why, because you can't let the poor animals out on the street. They'll wind up in a worse, often in worse death than euthanasia in the shelters. So that's why it has to be in place until we do what? Until we stop producing the extras, so there won't be any extras, so we won't have to kill any of the extras, the surplus dogs and cats. How do you do that? Well, we've known about this for decades and decades and decades and decades. It's called spay and neuter, conception control. Stop conception. If we will all spay and neuter our pets, this overpopulation problem will end. There'll be no more killing of the extras. And anybody who doesn't want to castrate their male dog, and there are a lot of people out there, it seems, that don't want to, for some reason, get him a vasectomy. It's possible. I've already checked with the vets, and he will not cause conception of another offspring. We'll be back again tomorrow with another song from the Straydog Billy One Man Band.